Welcome to Systems Alliance. My name is Jexy, and in this video we're going to go ahead and take a look at this past weekend's box office, where Shazam finishes #1 for the second week in a row, both domestically and internationally, and Hellboy unfortunately bombs. So Shazam finishes at #1 this weekend for the second weekend in a row at the domestic box office, dropping 54% to bring in just under $24.5 million. So this is an average drop for Shazam domestically. It's nothing too great, but it's nothing too bad. So we'll just have to see how its third weekend drop is, as that is sometimes maybe more indicative of how it's going to pan out as far as drops go the rest of the weekends. Shazam's domestic total now stands at over 94 million, and it also brought in 36 million this weekend internationally, and that total now stands at 164 million. Globally, Shazam has passed 258 million, so with a budget of just 100 million, this movie is definitely already on its way to becoming profitable once you factor in even the marketing costs. So I think this is a solid win for DC, and if it has legs, obviously that'll do great. It really needs to fit it in these next few weeks or days before Avengers Endgame, because I think once that comes out, it might hurt it a bit. Although, you could argue, if people can't even get into Endgame, maybe they end up go seeing Shazam or maybe a Captain Marvel to get their superhero fix, but we'll just have to see. But so far, a solid box office total for Shazam. Coming in at #2 this weekend is the comedy Little, and that came in with $15.4 million at the domestic box office, and it also brought in $2 million internationally. So a solid opening for this comedy with a budget of just $20 million. So regardless of what it does internationally, with a just under $15.5 million opening domestically, I think this movie's well on its way to turning a profit for Universal. So while a movie like Little is on track with $15.4 million to turn a profit based on a $20 million budget, a movie that is not on track to necessarily be profitable is the new version of Hellboy. And Hellboy is your #3 movie this weekend, opening with just over $12 million. Now, it's not a huge budget superhero movie, but it did cost $50 million. So if you're only opening with $12 million, that's not a good sign. I mean, that's usually your biggest weekend, and the critic reviews are terrible, the audience reviews are terrible, so this movie's not getting a lot of love. There's a lot of bad press around it, and unfortunately, I think this is going to be yet another money loser. And it's crazy because everyone loves the first Hellboys, but those lost money too. And now they tried a completely different version with this Hellboy, and it's also losing money because it's not like the first one? I'm not really sure, but either way, it's not looking good. The anticipated opening was between 17 and 20 million, and even that would have been hard-pressed to make the film profitable. But with a $12 million opening missing all expectations, one has to wonder if they're even going to make any more Hellboy films, because that's 3 Hellboy films now, and they've all lost money. Dropping a whopping 60% this weekend, coming in at #4 is Pet Sematary. Now, this movie was expected to drop a lot, although I'm not sure many expected it to drop 60%. So it finished with just over 9.7 million. Now, of course, as I just mentioned, Hellboy's unprofitable because it's not making a lot of money and also has a larger budget. Pet Sematary still only cost $21 million to make, so it's still going to be able to turn a profit. Pet Sematary's domestic gross now stands at just under 41 million, and it also brought in $12.6 million from overseas markets this weekend, so its international total now stands at $35.7 million. Worldwide, it's a little over $76.5 million, so with a $21 million budget, it's already a profitable movie for the studio. So as it continues to grow both internationally and domestically, I think we'll just see the profit margin rise for Pet Sematary. Coming in at #5, dropping a little over 48%, coming in with 9.4 million, is Disney's Dumbo. And as I look through these, I realized the past 3 movies I just mentioned all have 2019 in their name, so it's obviously the year of the remake, as there's other remakes too, and they have to specify that they're 2019. But Dumbo, unfortunately, is one of the ones that is not doing well, because even though it may have only dropped 48% this weekend, it's still looking like an unprofitable movie. Its domestic total now stands at a little over $90 million, and it also brought in $23 million from international markets this weekend, and its international total now stands at just under $179 million. Its global total now stands at just under $269 million, which is a decent total, but once you factor in the budget of $170 million, it's a money loser, and that total isn't so impressive anymore. As I mentioned in previous videos and confirmed, it's going to have to make around, or at least rather, $500 million, $500 million, in order to make its budget back. And as of right now, there's no way it's going to get there. It's going to come well short. This film will be lucky to hit $400 million, which would make this movie lose $100 million, easily being the only flop of the Disney live-action movies that have come out, but also just kind of disappointing in general because audiences don't really seem to be liking the movie. So that's your top 5 for this weekend. Let me know your thoughts. Have you seen any of these movies? Have you seen Shazam? Are you part of the people that are making it the #1 movie worldwide? Did you see any of the new releases like Little or Hellboy? What did you think of them? And if you didn't see Hellboy, let me know why. Was it the trailers? Was it the behind the scenes stuff going on? Was it the fact that they didn't have the same actors as before? Let me know your thoughts on that. And let me know your thoughts about Pet Sematary and Dumbo. Do you think there's any way that Dumbo can somehow turn around? Are you surprised that it's losing that much money for Disney? Or is it expected given, I guess, the quality of the movie? And what do you think it means for the direction of Disney live action films going into the future? Does it make you worried about Aladdin? Does it make you worried about Lion King? Let me know down in the comment section below. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit me up on Twitter, and we'll catch you next time.